brain is the boy brain. It rules the right side. I have to do that so you... Hi, this is Jewell Starsinger. I'm an astrologer and a Kabbalist and a tarotist. And what I do is I like to weave together all the different modalities that I've learned over the years and apply them to a person. We're just going to look at the sun and Venus and Mercury. These are real personal planets. Although, depending on the style of your map, you could have an ascendant in any one of the 12 signs. And whoever's the boss of that planet is going to be key in your life. Now, this little chart here is called Who's the Boss of You? And that's just my fun thing of, when you're a kid, it's like, you're not the boss of me. Well, who is the boss of you? And this is what I like to do. So the sun sign in a chart is the person's heart energy, but really what's the most identifiable energy is the ascendant. And it's got a Leo ascendant. And the Leo tarot card, I love to use the tarot because it's visual. So strength is the card for Leo, and she has Leo rising. And so Leo rising, you see the strength is this is a very heartful card because she has courage. She's putting her hand in a lion's mouth, but she's gentle. This is the gentle love, strength of courage. And so that's what Leo is at its most high angle. All right. And so with a Leo rising, then you appear to the world. This is how our identity is made, is through our rising sign. So this one is between Leo, and then the Venus is the young woman. And so has Venus in Leo rising. And this says this is someone who appears to others as a strong young woman with a good heart. And that's, Venus is wonderful. It's very bright. It's very open, and it's also tender, but it's very, but courage, always the courage. Yes, with the sun. All right. So there's that one. Then I thought we would look at Mercury, because Mercury is our thinker talker. And that's a great planet because it really explains how we get around. Because Mercury, thinking and talking, isn't just in our mind. It's a lot of goings and doings. It's very active. Mercury's an airy planet. Mercury is in Gemini, and it's a real powerful energy for her because it's in the house of the star, which is Aquarius's place. And what that is the electrical energy that's going through the universe, that's zapping us with ideas that we don't know where they came from. Well, that's this energy, and that's the 11th house where you have your hopes and dreams. That's where we really get a success. And this one, that's very exciting because you have your Mercury as the magician. Our Mercury is the magician. That's cool. And so this guy is also with the Tower in Gemini. So you have a real strong magician energy with that, you see. And this Tower is Mars, and you have Mars with the magician. And this is with the sign Gemini is the Lovers. Now, the Lovers aren't really two people, but it is boy and girl because it's the parts of us that, remember that Greek god Janus. He's got a face and he's got another face, right? He's not. So what that says is that our idea of being in duality and being in a world of opposites, to me, I think that's really misunderstood, because what it is saying, I have two ways of seeing. I am an entity. I'm a center entity, and I have this forward looking and this backward experiencing. These are both parts of me. In other words, left and right are not separate. They're integrated within me. So Gemini is like that. Gemini is a real amazing energy because it is the energy where we combine our yin with our yang. And we do it through our actions and our thoughts. So if you have, people who put lots of gossip or bad ideas out, they're only paying attention to one face, because the other face is saying, wait a minute, that wouldn't be okay. one is go and one is stop, and one is yes and no. I mean, but it's mental, and so that's now. Mercury itself isn't. It's a planet, and planets are called the grabbers. In other words, the planets are the actors. They grab the energy and they work it. They do that. So what we're doing is our action. So this magician, the Mercury, is really important in our lives, because how we work through our ideas is how we make our future, right? And so you have this guy with the tower, which looks scary because Mars, and these guys are, let's see, 6 degrees apart. And they also have the North Node. There isn't a card for that, but I should make one. The North Node. So these 3 characters, the North Node is the dragon's head. So between your mind and your energy of go get it, right? Because Mars is jump out, go for it, just do it. Mars is the planet that just does stuff. And it's the part of us that makes us feel like we are empowered. It's the empowered part. It's what I do is who I am. I'm being me. I'm going for what I want, right? So Mars. Now, this means that your mind and your ideas are bold and brave also, because this is about taking action regardless. And then the dragon's head is I'm hungry for ideas. And always keep in mind, I think it just reminds us to be humble. It reminds us that we're going to want to go for these ideas. It's like, and for you, your hopes and dreams are very, very big in this. And all that electronic stuff and being the marketer and doing all that, it's very mercurial. And doing it in the 11th house, in the stars house, is saying you can do that for yourself and others. You're the purveyor of ideas and dreams. But also there's Chiron there. Now, I don't have a card for Chiron either. I'll have to just talk about Chiron's the wounded healer. Wherever we have Chiron, it says I might have a problem that I just can't solve. And it's wounded healer because there's always this little what that does is I've always got this little limp here. I've always got this hangnail. It always hurts. It's just this one little thing. But what that does is that teaches me how to do manicures, that hangnail. That limp teaches me how to design a boot that's got an extra half an inch in the heel. Those little problematic things that feel uncomfortable are the places where you can excel if you accept them as part of you instead of rejecting the pain of it or the confusion of it. And so what I'm seeing for your 11th house, your star house, is where you bring in all this electronic, all of this flash, all of these other people's hopes and dreams. That also fulfills your own hopes and dreams, you see. But you have this deeper understanding that you can see someone's part that's their hangnail. You have this ability to see that and help them get their manicure. Yeah, see how that works? Yeah. So that I would say is a real important part of your map. Not even talking about your sun sign, because it's a big thing. But now let's look at the sun, because that is your ruling planet. And here's the sun, and it's in its own, let's see, it's in Cancer. So that's the moon sign. The sun's in the moon sign. And the moon in this chart is in the stars sign in Aquarius. See how that goes back to the first little deal I talked about? So it reverberates, it bounces back, and it says, yeah, this hopes and dreams thing of yours and this electronic path, this media is for you. I mean, you couldn't have picked better what you do. It's like our gut guides us, and some of us don't listen to it, but you're listening. But you've got all of this yang. So there's Aquarius and Gemini and Sagittarius. Then there's a stellium of 4 in Sag, and then Libra, the justice, the one who brings aesthetics to any situation, the diplomat. And so this is all very mental. It's mental and it's ideas. And so to make those manifest, you have to use that Cancer sun. That's your sun sign, which is the masculine planet, is in the feminine, the most feminine of signs, which is Cancer. That's the moon sign, and she is the tides. So, there's this whole cycle that you go through, and your sun is in the 12th house, which is the house of the hanged man. So the hanged man represents surrender to life. The point is, the 12th house is where you get to hook in to this deeper understanding. This is the last step in a 12-step program. So when you have the sun there, you're asked to be humble. You're asked to subsume your bright little child into understanding its condition. Now, when you do that, you might have to be put in prison. You might have to be in a nunnery. You might have to be in some situation where you can't get out. And so people who have this are the ones who have accomplished the 12-step program of life. And I just think you're going to do great.
I hope so.
I know so. I know so.